Lars Larson, your dog in the fight.
Welcome back to the Larson Show. It is a pleasure to be with you and a real pleasure to welcome to the program Tom Antion, who is an internet multimillionaire, consumer advocate, and professional speaker, and the founder of the new Deplorables TV web series. Tom, good to have you on the program.
Hey, Lars, you're looking good tonight, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's my pleasure to have you on the program. Now, since I consider myself a deplorable, a lot of us decided that we were deplorable after Hillary Clinton began disparaging the deplorables. What is the Deplorables TV series?
Well, I got so sick of hearing people like us being portrayed as toothless, uneducated, gun-toting buffoons. All right, I got sick of that. And in reality, we're hardworking, patriotic people that are just chock full of common sense. I said, I got to do something about that. And we're tough, too. That's another thing. We're tough, but we're so tough, we don't have to riot and put bags over our head and break windows to get our points across. So I said, I'm going to highlight and showcase these great people across our great land, and that's how I got the idea for the show.
All right, so you're shooting this in a way that you go out and actually talk to real, average Americans who are proud of their country and patriotic and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I'm going to go around the country. There's a place on our website where people can put in stories of why they're a great deplorable, or they can tell us about a story of someone else that we wouldn't have heard of. And, of course, we vet everybody because we expect people on the left to try to infiltrate and pretend to be a deplorable to mess us up. That's how they work.
Well, I kind of wonder about that, Tom, because I've always wondered when the left would begin to try to do that. And then I thought, well, to do that, these are people who I think the idea of associating with firearms would be absolutely anathema to them. It would be like, those vampire movies where holy water burns the vampire. That they can't think of doing that. To say I'm proud of my country. I think my country is the best country on planet Earth, and that it's the freest country and the most generous country. That those are the kind of words that they just couldn't force between their lips.
They couldn't do it, and if they tried, they'd get all sweaty, and they'd start crying, and you'd hear the songs playing, the snowflake songs playing for them, and it won't be hard to distinguish the real deplorables from the fakes, for sure.
I just wonder, maybe you can come by and do somebody from the show, or do
Absolutely. I was thinking about that. We could have some kind of contest or something, and then we'll do a segment, and we'll talk about it on the show, and people can go watch it.
I'll tell you what, I know one of the best knife makers in America, Bill Harzy, who's he does more design than actual manufacturing. What he does is he comes up with the designs, but he's a guy who's designed knives for the Special Forces. He's designed knives for the Green Berets. There are an awful lot of military people who got their knives custom made for them by this man, and he's
Absolutely.
the kind of guy.
Perfect example of somebody that's creative, hardworking, but doesn't go, crying the blues if he cuts himself. I'm just thrilled. I can't wait to get on the road to do this.
All right, so who do you have backing it up? And are you going to put some advertising in this, or are you just going to try and make it stand on its own?
Well, the thing is I've done pretty well myself, but I don't know. Did you ever hear of Seth Godin? He's a famous author, and he didn't need to, but he did a crowdfunding campaign, which is where lots of people donate a little bit of money to be involved in the thing.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the same thing because I really want a lot of people involved in this. I don't want to just be me out there waving the flag and everybody else is afraid of all the lefties coming after us. So that's what we're doing. And I have another show that's with a Hollywood production company, but they're telling me, it could be 2 more years before they sell it. And so I'm taking this straight to the web because there's no time to lose to prop up our current administration and show how all these great people, came together to make this happen.
See, I think you've hit on something that I consider a key part of a true deplorable. A true deplorable gets frustrated when the Congress says, well, we're going to have to talk about this for 6 months, and it'll take that long to bring our plans together. I'll bet that frustrates you like crazy when you say, no. Deplorables and real conservatives get out there and actually make things happen now. And we make some mistakes.
That example of that's skating rink up in New York City?
The Woolman, was it Woolman Rink? No.
I don't know the name of it. It took like 6 years and it wasn't going nowhere. They gave it to Trump, and he had it operating and people skating in a couple months. So yeah, that's the kind of people. That's the way my dad was. And here's one thing that really irks me is this thing about we're a nation of immigrants. Well, yeah, that is true on face value. My dad came to Ellis Island. Name's up on the wall up there around 1907, okay? So, yes, that's true. However, if you have common sense and you look around a little bit, in the past 10 years, it's not the same kind of immigrant. Right?
No, it's not.
The ones in the past just couldn't wait to get here and start a new life and be an American. Now they're like, hey, you be what I was, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, no. And well, in fact, think about it. I mean, I've been a reporter most of my life. I'm 58, but I've been a reporter for 42 years. And I can't count the number of times I had people tell me when my family moved here and they had kids, even if the kids were already born when they arrived here legally and they came in legally, Mom and Dad and Grandma and Grandpa, you'd come home and the household would speak Spanish, or they'd speak Portuguese, or they'd speak German or Polish. And Mom and Dad and Grandma and Grandpa said, "You speak English. We want you to. It's okay to know the language of your mother, of the homeland that you came from, but you are now an American. We do not want you speaking Polish. We want you speaking English, because that's how you become an American. You adopt the customs and the practices and the language of the place we've made our new home." And as you say, today's so-called immigrants do not behave that way. It's as though a lot of them come here and say, okay, I've arrived, and now it's time to change America into what I came from. Well, we don't want that.
So I'm saying, no, if I wanted to be like where you came from, I would go there. But I'm happy here, and I like it the way it is, and you better shut up, because if you push this agenda on us too much, it's not going to be pretty. In fact, it's already not pretty, the fighting and about this. But yeah, that makes me sick. And another thing that makes me sick is this popular vote thing that everybody's laying on you. Popular vote. Let me put it in a sports analogy. Let's say you and I are playing football, Lars.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the game, I run over to the other field. It's a baseball field, and I hit a grand slam home run. So I come back over to the football field, and I say, Lars, I won. I hit a grand slam. And you say, no, we were playing football, Tom. I say, no, it doesn't matter. I hit a grand slam. I won. That's the kind of ridiculous, argument this is, right? I mean, yeah, if you want to go play baseball, we can't really do a do-over, but they're trying to get us to do one. And we'll go play baseball, and we'll see who wins fairly. But no, it's nope, I hit a grand slam. I won. Doesn't matter what game.
Hey, Tom, I've got a break, but tell people how they can find the deplorables on the web.
Go to thedeplorables.tv, thedeplorables.tv, and you can sign up for updates. You can visit our crowdfunding site, see a video, and we'd love to have you on the team.
Tom, I would love to have you come back on and tell some of the stories that you find as you travel America looking for some of that basket of deplorables that Hillary Clinton talked about. Thanks so much for the time. Tom Antion with the Deplorables TV web series. We'll be back in just a moment.
The Lars Larson Show.